In today's world, we are increasingly dependent on technology. Our business and personal lives rely on it, but as you've probably noticed, it's unreliable. They promise it'll get better, but it usually gets worse. Our computers are slow, so we end up squinting at smartphones and tablets. We live in constant fear that something's going to happen to our personal data, so we're scared into paying for fake protection that proves useless when disaster strikes. Update attacks, fake Wi-Fi, cloud control, and other industry scandals are designed to keep the money flowing. The jokers we pay to fix our stuff have no clue what they're doing, so they do a virus scan and then wipe out our precious photos. Intelligent, successful people feel intimidated by the chaos and think it's somehow their fault. If they only knew what the industry was doing to them, they'd get torches and pitchforks. If only we had someone to explain it all in plain English so we can start protecting ourselves. Oh wait, we do! It's the Computer Exorcist Podcast with your host, Mark Anthony Arena.
From the Wallace Memorial microphone in my home office, overlooking the can of worms in downtown Rochester, New York, this is the Computer Exorcist Podcast. So happy you have joined me today. I have a very special guest here, possibly one of the funniest guests I will ever have. And she's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and probably the most famous comedian we've ever had on this show. It's April Biggirl Lee. How's it going, April? Welcome.
Hi, I am so happy to be here. I'm coming out of Las Vegas, originally from Detroit, headed back, so I am in rare form. Happy to be here today.
Aha. So I met April at a networking Zoom thing a couple weeks back, and she was just one of the funniest people, just like spontaneous. You know those kind of people who are just naturally funny, and she'll just start talking and just keep going and saying something, and then I just keep laughing. It's nuts. So hopefully y'all will get to laugh tonight. Tell us.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Right? Tell us. How did you go from Detroit to Vegas? How did you become a comedian? How did this happen?
Well, let's see. Well, wow. I was born on April Fool's Day, right? So I was born from a joke. I've always been a funny, outgoing person. So the moment that I got on the stage and just straight did comedy, I literally dropped to my knees and it was like, Lord, this is it, you know? And I never stopped doing comedy.
Finding your purpose.
When I moved to Vegas, remember I told you I was doing timeshare. So I worked at Wyndham Destinations, and I was blessed to be with people all over the world, right? I was representing the Black people. It was another Black girl from Chicago, and it was another Black guy. But when I spoke to him, he was from France.
Oh, cool.
So I literally would sit there and write comedy and just go whisper in people's ear and make everybody laugh, right?
What were you? Well, like in the audience, or where were you whispering in people's ear?
Well, in between tours, we would all be like in a room where we can watch sports, or we would sit at our desk, and I would sit there and write poetry. I would write comedy, and then I would just go whisper it in everybody's ear, because I was literally at the time thinking I needed this for a white crowd, this for an Asian crowd, this for a Filipino crowd, right? But I would tell them all the same joke and they would all laugh.
Love it.
So I just felt like, you need to be yourself.
Yes, being yourself and finding things we all have in common that are funny. I love that. I mean, when you get to know me, you'll know that I'm all about being yourself, and the moment you stop caring about what people think about you is the moment people respect you.
Exactly. And just being relatable, or my dog is upset, number one. Let's just talk about that. And I said that when we met. I said, when I'm happy, he is craving attention, just like the average guy, right?
So you relate that to that.
He knows he can. It's just crazy. Now, if I was to pick him up and make him a part of this thing, it would be okay. But when I'm having fun and he's not a part of it, he is sad. Okay, he is sad.
Just like a guy, right?
I literally moved to Las Vegas with one bag. 4 people, 4 bags, right? Big dream. Left my house in Detroit. COVID happened. So that's why, I would say everything. I've been here for 6 years. I have nothing over 6 years, so it's been fun. Comedy's been good for me, just an experience.
And the way I love any situation where you can rise on your own merit, right? Like, my industry doesn't have licensing and rules and all that stuff, right? It's like, if you're good, people like you, that's it. And I love that, right? And it's the same thing with you, right?
You're doing a service. You're doing more of a service. And it's like, if you can complete this, everything's working fine, we good to go, right? But if you leave them with great personality, a smile, then they're always going to come back to you for that service, right?
Great point.
If you don't leave them with a memory, they'll need the same service and they'll go try somebody else. And you definitely want to build those relationships.
Sure, and the beautiful thing is, like, you and I don't have to answer to anyone. I mean, like, all right, fine, if you're going to go on big network television, sure, you have to answer to a producer, right? But in general, it's like you said, it's all about our personality, right? If people like our personality and we are memorable, especially, like, I tell people all the time, people don't know what I'm doing when I'm typing at their computer, right? They have to trust me for who I am. So, exactly.
I sold cars for 7 years. I was one of the best car salesperson. Shout out to Southfield Quality Cars in Detroit. Shout out to Jefferson Chevrolet, right? So I tell people, don't burn your bridges. Because if you burn your bridges, you can't even talk about certain things.
Right.
But I was, one of the best salesperson because people would always say, I want a 2.9 APR. Okay, do the application. Yeah. Can you guarantee? No, I can't. Well, Mark guaranteed it. Well, Mark is a liar. Right?
Because a lot of dudes will just say that, right? They'll just say, oh, sure you can, just to get someone interested.
Yeah, I'm not about to lie. It's not worth my soul in hell to be telling you about to get a 2.9 APR. I ain't got no application. Right? Yeah. So what I would do to people is I say, go, but make me a promise that the moment you find out it's a lie, you're going to come back to me and get the truth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and same thing here. When people go, well, I don't know about you, I'll just go over to the big box store. And I say, hey, look, go right ahead. And it's tough because, of course, I want to help them, but I don't pounce on them anymore. I just say, cool, go ahead. When they destroy everything, come back, and I'll have to clean up after the destruction. And I tell them, you're going to go there? I routinely clean up.
Go.
Right.
If you love something, baby, you gotta let it go. Because when I see them come back in that door, I'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know. Because one thing I'm not gonna do is lie to you. You know, when you got that car and you drive to the corner and it break in half, baby, you own both parts of it.
That's why you own both pieces of that car.
Because let me tell you, the worst customer for me in car sales was the sexy ones. You know, the ones that walk in drifting like they just walked off the ocean with the 6-pack.
Walked off the ocean.
They want the lowest payment. They gotta have a charger. They turn their nose up. They got the worst credit ever. You know? And it's just like, I don't even want to sell to the sexy folk because they got so much high expectations. Some of y'all, right? Some, you gotta say something at all. So it was like, wow, get your sexy butt out of here. That double is co-signer. It's like, nah. Yeah. So we had tried like 5 different girls at different times, and I'm just like, wow. Oh yeah, it was definitely an experience. Yeah. I love people though. I want you to have what you want to have, but if your credit and your down payment is not matching up, then we got to work on that. We got to build on that, right? So.
Oh, that's great. I love the imagery, right? So I'm imagining like the guy with the abs coming out of the ocean with the shirt flapping in the wind, right? Right?
Now, I'll tell you, even in Las Vegas, you know, I was a realtor in Michigan, came to Nevada, and started doing apartments, and I'm a realtor here in Nevada. And as soon as I see them coming in sexy, I'll be like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Even when I see the girls, listen, when I see the girls, no disrespect, ladies, some of y'all, right? When they come to see the apartment straight from the fitness and they got on a two-piece outfit. Here we go. She want the 3-unit, baby. She ain't got no kids or nothing, but she want the 3-bedroom.
What's she gonna do with 3-bedroom? Put up 3 treadmills in?
Why is that? Why do everybody want the 3-bedroom unit?
I mean, I've only had 2-bedroom units, but one's my bedroom and the other's my video game room. That's okay, right?
3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and I'm knocking on all type of wood to keep them, baby. Okay, it just sounds so good. 3 bedroom, 3 bath. But as soon as you get ready to clean up, I'll be like, how's this? I got one.
Oh, right. I had to clean my bathroom earlier, and I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Man, when I first moved here, ain't nobody used this bathroom for a year.
Oh, right. Who uses your spare bathrooms?
The front, the water was hard and everything. I'm like, we gonna have to start using this bathroom once a week or something. Right. My daughter had moved in. Somebody moved in my house. I didn't even know it. They was literally just using the living room and the bathroom area over here. My daughter came upstairs one day and was like, "Who is that man that moved in the living room?" Moved in the living room. She's like, yes, he is. He's always in there. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Because I always come downstairs and go out the door back there. I never came in this living room area, boo. Somebody. Like, y'all gotta be kidding me.
Do you use that as part of your set? Like, that's so good.
I guess I literally come down the stairs and leave, then he, take his shower or whatever.
In the 3rd bathroom.
Wow.
Let me tell you something, April. Most episodes, I'm just angry and I'm ranting about my industry, but this is so refreshing.
Oh, they get to see you smile. No, I was just gonna say somebody somewhere need to check the other side of their house.
In my daily life, I'm funny and fun, and I'm a practical jokester and stuff. But like on the show, I'm so serious that it's cool to. So actually, I was a stand-up comedian. I only did 2 nights. And my whole career lasted 2 nights. And so I'm Sicilian, so people think I'm Arab. So my stage name was the Wacky Iraqi.
Iraqi.
That was my stage name when I did stand-up comedy for 2 nights.
Is funny. I lived in Dearborn for 7 years. I wouldn't even been able to be your friend, right? My neighbor would have been like, "It's not the Iraqi over your house. Get him away! Like, he's disrespectful."
But it was a simpler time, and I just told weird stories about weird people I knew, and that was my whole thing. But the only people who really liked the comedy was people who knew me and knew how weird I was. Anyway,
it's like to be fun, right?
Right.
Some people they real serious in comedy. I really don't like to talk about comedy a lot because people are like, "Hey, make me laugh right now." And it's
nah.
Listen, I'm not on the stage, but you're a comedian and it's your job. And it's like, hey, or you'll get a guy that's like, "You need a 3-minute set, 5-minute set, 15-minute set, 30-minute set. You're going to fail. They're going to boo you." And it's like, you didn't even ask if I had these things, right?
Yeah.
So how are you a comedian on stage, but off stage, you're like the biggest book still being written? So I just like fun people. just fun people, right?
I've had a lot of consultants over the years, and they all mean well, right? But a lot of them are like, well, all of them say, well, you have to define your market. And it's like, all right, I've been doing this for 15 years with 20 consultants. I've already defined my market. Now, how do I get out there and actually make some money? It's always, oh, you need to do this first before you can get out there.
It's like, why are you being so aggressive? I cannot stand that.
Yep.
Or like,
Yep.
Do you have a manager? Like, what? It's like, I don't know. I've met, shout out to Papa Had a Comedienne, Dennis Lavender. So basically, I was telling him about a show I did at Tony Roney's in Detroit. Yay! As a member of the Crack Jokers. And on this one particular night, I wanted to create an illusion and change it up, like the Crack Jokers, the Joke Crackers, to ultimately say something like, I'll crack your head, I'm a part of this team. And people just started coming up to me afterwards saying, the real name is the Crack Jokers. And I'm like, I did it on purpose.
Right, you're trying to have fun with the place.
Right.
And of all places, comedy should be the place where you can have some fun with it, right? Like, you're not in an office.
It's like, do I need to get it tattooed on me? I put it on my head and put it on my shirt. It's like, listen, I'm a part of this team, right? So then next thing you know, people were going like, she's not a part of the team. She lives in Las Vegas. She travels everywhere. I seen her on the Super Bowl. She's not a part of the team. Like, I am a part of the team. Okay?
But they should be proud of you.
So that's what I got.
There's an African concept called Ubuntu, where they say you should applaud those in your village who go off to succeed. How do you like that?
Ubuntu?
Yep. And it's in my book, actually. I'll tell you about it later, but it's in my book, How to Protect Yourself from Your Computer. So buy it for everyone you know, folks.
Okay.
But that's the concept there.
On stage.
Yeah, I'll email it to you later.
Like, Ubuntu, period. Y'all better support me because I went off on my own, baby. Did what I had to do until I was able to come back, right? And when I come back, I'm trying to bring everybody together in one positive place where we can meet up and have fun.
So with the rest of the show here, we got a bunch of minutes left. I'm gonna do what I do for every guest, and I'm gonna read a couple articles, and I'm gonna get your opinion. This first one is funny. Like, I went through my briefcase of the articles that I need to read on the show, and I found this one here I thought was really cool. This is a recent one, The Babylon Bee, and this is July 2024. Family summons priest to cast demons out of the HP DeskJet's 3755. A family had to summon a priest to exorcise a load of demons out of their HP DeskJet. It had been clear that the DeskJet was diabolically inclined for several weeks. It would print double-sided, but only flipping on the long edge, and while it was printing, it would emit terrible shrieks, and a little steam would come out. And then it would stop working, only to mysteriously kick back on at 3 a.m. We tried everything, rebooting the printer, rebooting the computer, unplugging it, holding it upside down, all to no avail. Father Rudolph had come quickly when summoned, and then shook his head when he saw the printer. I see this all the time, he muttered. Those darn HPs. The printer responded by giving up the ghost and was unable to be resuscitated. And let me tell you something. 99% of all HP products in my professional experience die immediately. And that's why I call my business The Computer Exorcist. And that's why I call the show that name. Because this stuff acts like it's possessed, especially HP. So I just love that article. What do you think, April?
I love it. I love it and I believe it. Let me tell you why.
It's relatable, right?
It's definitely relatable, and also anything that's possessed, it is up at 3 a.m. I literally thought I was possessed because for a month, every night at 3 a.m., this is me at 2:59. Look at me at 2:59. And then here comes 3 a.m. For a freaking month. I said, what is this, a scary movie? My PTSD has taken off. So every night, 3 a.m., I'm like this. Whew. So, wow. I just think that All of these things come with warranty, and all of these things come with just replacing them, not even trying to figure out stuff.
Right. Even the warranty you buy at the store, when you buy it, it's just a replacement warranty. None of the stuff is fixable. I say that on the show all the time.
Yeah, and for a person like me that's totally not techie, I literally, in my office for my Unpainted Me poetry, because I'm a poet, I literally bought a pink one, right? I was like super excited about this pink printer. And then when I moved the office here, it never worked again. And I was just like, oh my God, I was calling everybody, you know. And my 12-year-old daughter actually said, give me $5, I can fix it.
Nice.
Okay, I'll give you 10. And she goes and fix it.
Oh, does she want to be my Las Vegas branch of my business? I will train her. That's great. That's awesome.
She sure, I was like sitting here, I could not believe it. And she goes, I would have fixed it sooner, but I was busy. I'm like, okay.
That's so awesome. And what brand was it?
Adele.
Oh, brilliant.
No, HP.
Oh, okay, that's why, right. So it's nice they make it in fun colors. But yeah, HPs are designed to stop working after a day. I've seen 4 of them die during setup. I mean, they're nuts. It's ridiculous. So always buy Brother from now on, and feel free to ask me for advice whenever you buy anything.
I sure will.
So next article, this is from Ars Technica, and it's from 2021, and unfortunately it's still happening. I looked this one up, and it's still going on as if nothing happened. One of the core themes of this show is exposing filthy things that big tech does to you without the public knowing about it. So I mean, yeah, this is an article. It's technically available, But April, do you spend your time reading Ars Technica and other nerd publications?
No.
So that's my job, is to translate nerd to English. So this one's really filthy. Ars Technica, May 2021. What could possibly go wrong? Amazon devices will soon automatically share your internet with neighbors. Amazon's experimental wireless mesh networking turns users into guinea pigs. And I say this all the time. I say this in my book all the time. I say it in any books I write and speeches, and it's they use you as a guinea pig, and too bad for you. You just have to deal with it. And they foist all of this half-baked garbage onto society before it's done. If you use Amazon devices, you have only 10 days until you're opted into an experiment that leaves your personal privacy and security hanging in the balance. On June 8th, the behemoth will automatically enroll the devices in Amazon Sidewalk. The new wireless mesh service will share a small slice of your internet bandwidth with Sidewalk-capable devices that don't have their own internet connectivity. Since only a tiny fraction of people take the time to change those default settings, right, April? Do you have time to A, know that it's happening, B, dig in the menus to turn it off if you knew it was happening, right? 99% of people have no clue that Amazon is doing this to begin with. So only a tiny fraction of people take the time to change those settings. That means millions of people will be co-opted into the program whether or not they know anything about it. Same thing with the Getting to Know You scandal. Did you know if you use Windows 10... it's called Getting to Know You, and it means Microsoft is recording what you type.
Wow. No, I didn't. Right? And
same thing with the Copilot scandal. A couple weeks back, Microsoft unleashed an attack on humanity. I call them update attacks. You know, when your computer's spinning and spinning and it's updating, right? Turns out during those updates, they slow down your computer, they damage it, and they add new ways to spy on you. There was something called the recall attack, where all of a sudden they turn this on for everyone in the world, and, oh, but it's a great feature. We record everything you say as you walk around your house talking to yourself. Oh, but in case you want to remember what you said to yourself, we can help you. They were just caught with their pants down, and they had to come up with an excuse, right?
I'm trying to think of that movie back in the day where they were recording everything, and people were saying that this is what the world is going to, but they was making it like it was a movie. I'm trying to think of the name.
Truman Show with Jim Carrey?
No, it was... It was Jamie Foxx, and he was enemy of the
Enemy of the State. Okay.
I don't know, because I mess around and tell you that Jamie Foxx and it'd be Will Smith. But at the end of the day,
I like Will Smith's movies. I've watched all his movies.
What about the people that set their internet up and didn't set up the security for it, and then finally found out that their neighbors was hooking up to it, watching TV, logging into their computer.
Right. Luckily, routers.
Whatever happens to actually paying people to try these things out, letting people be aware, letting them make the decisions. But I guess that wouldn't matter if the rollout of it was just going to be rolled out, period, whether we like it or not, right?
Right.
So
it's just all garbage made by slobs, and with routers at least new routers aren't open by default anymore. The good routers like TP-Link is my favorite. It has a password on the bottom, and you're done. You don't do any setup. You don't have to do anything. You're done. Your password's on the bottom. The filthy routers are the ones controlled by Amazon, with those Eero routers, where they're controlled by an app, which is controlled by a cloud, which is a time bomb. So 2 years from now, if Amazon doesn't like you, too bad for you. You're not allowed to use this product anymore. Go buy another one.
I don't know. That is crazy. And it seems like Amazon slowly but surely, we talking about it now, but the people that got that stock when it was like $10, $15, they don't care what you say about it.
And I'm kicking myself because I knew about Amazon before most people did, and I could have bought it, but I wasn't into stocks back then. And look, they do a lot of things well, but I always tell people, please look for the underdogs, right? Just always look for underdogs. I prefer buying from B&H in Manhattan instead, or Newegg over in California. So just look for alternatives, because no amount of laws is going to stop these people. It's you and me.
Exactly. And especially when they have such pull, or they think they have such power, because the truth is, anytime you're looking for anything, somebody's going to tell you, go to Amazon, right?
Right. It's the default. It's everyone's knee jerk.
Exactly. And it's not always competitive with prices anymore, how it was in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Remember in the beginning, it was so competitive with prices. That's just like a long time ago. Target brand was the cheapest. Now you're sitting there with Target brand being the same amount as the other brand. It's like choose one.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we definitely have to make great decisions. But I think when you're putting our security on the line, when you basically telling our business, you opening up doors, with me being such a creative person, I mean, next thing you know, I'm watching a movie that I was writing right here in my living room. Wow. Because you have the funds and the go-to. Right? So I'm going to turn on Amazon Prime and watch my movie on there because they didn't listen to me talk about it in my living room.
Let me tell you something, April. That hasn't happened yet. However, you're not far from the truth. So I did an article a few months back on my show, maybe a year or two ago, and Amazon found out that certain products were selling well. So they found out the factory in China. It was like a tripod, right? Like a camera tripod that some guy was selling, a little mom and pop business. So they called the factory and said, hey, why don't you make them for us instead? So they were selling them cheaper than the guy could even buy them for, and they crushed their own Amazon seller because they wanted to sell it with their own brand. So they are crushing their own sellers.
Exactly. That is crazy. I don't know if this is going a little too far, but remember how .coms was just, you can get it for $1.99. And somebody told me, buy up a bunch of them because the price gonna go up and then you can sell it. Yeah. So I bought I started a little business called Follow Detroit, where it was just, I was putting all the car dealerships there, different things you can do in Detroit. And so I went and bought Follow New York, Follow Ohio. I was just trying to...
How cool. That's so smart.
And I was literally buying it for like $3 to $4, but I was buying like 5 to 6 years at a time. And I put it up for sale. And then I went and it was like $2,500 to this day. And
Come on.
like, if somebody buy this, how they going to get in touch with me to give me my money? I literally called them. They literally, long story short, took it off from me. I'm like, this is my website, right?
And yeah, if you had known me back then, I would have shown you how to connect with brokers for that. And yeah, but that was really far-sighted of you. That was really smart.
So guess what? To take it a step further, I just purchased Comedy Twerk, right? So you know how the girls is twerking. It's not that type of twerk. It's Comedy Twerk, where it's going to be promotions where I'm promoting even domestic violence, right? Promoting different services. But if you do go to jail, we have all-in-one bail bonds. We have insurance, right? So we still gonna do whatever we gotta do. We're gonna have fun with it. So that's why we call it Comedy Twerk, the comedy shows, the poetry. But the reason why I said that is because I never searched if it was available until I was ready to purchase it. I'm scared that if I searched my name that I wanted to buy, comedytwerk.com, and if I waited, I was going to go back and that was going to be $2,500 or now
Great point.
Somebody has purchased it.
I trust Namecheap. If you want to buy domain names, I trust them. I do not trust GoDaddy, but Namecheap is where to go to buy those names, and you go directly into the site. You don't just type a name out on Google and where someone can intercept it. But you know what? Let me tell you something. That's a huge idea. If you create a website for small comedians, right? Like I said, mom and pop sellers, it's the same idea. I try to support mom and pop wherever. If you create a website where small comedians can just, they do a set, people are applauding, and they say, hey, go find me on Comedy Twerk, and there you go, right? It's just like, Bandcamp and SoundCloud, those sites.
And then also like
it's like that.
For the single people, couple.com, a great community. So when I'm hosting on couple.com, it's a Comedy Twerk, right? Because I represent comedy, duh. But now I'm representing it, for the single people. So it's just a way that I want to be able to offer different things for low cost that people can try. That's for fun.
And make sure when you set up this site, make sure you link your own videos to it. Because you know what? When you go do a set, you tell people your site, it's very memorable, and then they can go to the site and look that up. So final thoughts, and tell us where we can find your videos.
Awesome. Well, comedian, you got to put comedian in there. So comedian, April, like the month, big girl, because if I stand up, I'm like 6 feet tall, and then Lee, like Jet Li, Bruce Lee, right? So comedian April Biggirl Lee on Facebook, April Biggirl Lee on IG. And you can always just Google me. I'm sure the big girl gonna pop up with something crazy. Always something colorful. I wore black today for Mark, toned it down, but always something different going on with the big girl. And I'm so happy to be here today just to chat with you. I'm always on 10, always big energy, big smile, lots of diversity. I love everybody. Somebody wanted to argue today. You don't love everybody. God don't love everybody. This and that. I said, listen, the only people that I don't love is people that don't love everybody, right? Nobody's going to get bullied around me. Nobody's going to get mistreated around me. If they stink, we're going to wash them up and we're going to have a good time, okay? Just lots of comedy. I've been doing comedy. You can always join my page and see what I'm doing next, right? Couple.com, comedy, extra. I've been an extra on Hell's Kitchen 3 times.
Wow.
My biggest thing, I was so happy to be like loving hip hop because I'm a big Ray J fan, Brandy brother. But I've just been living my life. I was dancing on the Walk of Fame, right? I've did stuff. It superseded my highest expectations. So I just gonna write a new what they call it, a new bucket list, right? Because if my bucket list is gone, I ain't ready to kick the bucket. Okay? So this girl gonna write a new bucket
add more
list.
items.
And just continue to live life and go through the obstacles with a smile. Okay, that's about it.
That's such a pleasure. And like I listen, in my adult life too, I know what you're saying. I've met so many wonderful people of all shapes and sizes. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure to talk to you as well. April Biggirl Lee, look her up online, and I am thecomputerexorcist.com, and tell your friends about the podcast, and thanks so much. We will talk to you next week.
It's all right now. give you an inch, and then they take a mile. Stand you in the back and look at you in your face with a smile.